It's your boy Young Love. I give him that time. Pancho leg stand and punchy America. Panye doll, Pancho leg stand and punchy America. Panye doll, walk on your leg. Kankaro what on a watching. Oga leg gear, bow, leg. Panda with ya, punchy America. Panye doll, Chingatongo Pandon could you ever buy a check out? Papu Panda Jiro, what ya be doll venting. Stand up and cheat America, Panye doll, Pancha leg stand up and cheat America, Panye doll, walk on your leg, Kankaro what on a watching, Oga leg, gear, bow, leg, Panda with ya, Panchid America, Panye doll, Chingatongo Pandon, could you ever buy a check out, Paku Panda Jiro, what ya be doll venting.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are tuning in. Welcome to Lagos State Media. Today, the 5th of July here in Australia, 2022. The Lagos State Media team is up here for the quick message to relay to the public. Before we go to the message that we are here in the screen in front of you, first of all, on behalf of Lagos State Media, we would like to convey our deepest, sincere condolences to the family of late Honorable Manawa Peter Gatquath, who has recently passed away in Egypt. The reason we are here as the public, we need just to show our response to the remarks that have been made during the prayers of late Peter Manawa in Juba. The remarks were just targeting the concerned South Sudanese using the social media. They call us social media criminals. Second to it, they are shifting to blame the death of Honorable Minister into the hand of the South Sudanese citizen in diaspora who are concerned and try to share their opinion with their government. But government now has turned to call us criminals and call us the murderers. So that is the reason we are here tonight, this afternoon, to share that message. We wrote our letter already and we posted on our page, and it's circulating in the social media. As criminals of the social media, we're still doing it. So I will give the floor to my brothers who are also here with me in the studio, and also for you, all our followers and viewers. If you want to join us, you can just join in to come and share your opinion with us towards our government. Thank you. I will yield back microphone to you, Paul Makur.
We are not hearing you, Ball. Thank you, Isaac. You hear me
Yeah.
now, right?
Yes.
Isaac, I greet you all, our citizen. Uh, I am happy that we all come forward to come and give response to the minister, Mr. Lomoro, for calling the citizen the criminals. We would like to let him know that leadership and leadership and success are your birthright, but insulting citizen is not your birthright. We have Lake State Media have responded by writing a letter to Martin Lomoro, and we will read the letter out. It will speak volume, and this will indicate that we are all upset about his response, about his lash out to the citizen of South Sudan. We are all equal. There is no anybody who is above anybody. We only have a boundaries of respect, but there is no point a minister that we the citizen put in a leadership turn around and call us criminals. We have condemned that. Uh, our citizens, the reason why we're coming here, because some of us might be busy and they have not read the letter. Now we will read the letter out so you all can hear. And if anybody know his email address, we can even forward it to his email address. That's our concern. We are very upset because the independent we are enjoying today, that Mr. Lomoro become a minister, was the independent Mr. Lomoro was against, was the independent Mr. Lomoro was distracting by throwing, toasting an egg on our leader, John Garang the Mabora team. So we are here actually to let him know we the citizens can take you out from that seat if you don't know, because we have the powers to let you know the leadership is not only yours, it is we, the citizen, who put you there. Uh, what I want to emphasize is that we, the citizen of South Sudan, we are calling, we are endorsing our voice to the government. We are refilling to the government to review the laws that give Martin Lomoro a power to insult the citizen. We'll read out our letter, and before we're doing that, we will. I will give a floor to my brother Majuk, so he can also make remarks, and from there we'll read the letter, and other people also will join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Isaac, and my brother Deputy Chair Bolmakur. We, the potential social media criminals team, we have come before you today as South Sudanese and as the public. There is something that is being discussed in our public domain, and that is why, as a media, we are here to condemn and also submit our demand for an apology from the minister on behalf of the citizens of our country and on behalf of social media criminals team nationwide or worldwide. With these few remarks, I will yield it back to my brother Bol to proceed with the letter, and then afterward, we'll be in a position to share our thoughts and our view and our perspective on how the minister should have addressed the public rather than using such unethical terms. Thank you.
Thank you, Duke. Jung Makur Malang Barech for yelling the microphone back to me. So I will proceed to read out the letter to our citizen. It's a long letter, so I will even take a break so everybody can understand what we have written. Let me start by reading it out. Is it out of ignorance, arrogance that minister called citizen criminals, the case of Elia Lomoro? Honorable Martin Elia insulted directed at South Sudanese only portray his arrogance or rather an ignorance while addressing the media. The Honorable Minister was erroneously expressing horror. When we made the background check, the evidence points to the fact that Lomoro was based in the diaspora during the notorious War of Liberation. He is said to have been at the heart of Europe, particularly the United Kingdom, where he was gracefully accepted to be one of the inhabitants of the historical city of London. He is said to have been schooled as veterinary doctor. In other words, the education he acquired in the United Kingdom is about animals' health. Supposedly, he should be treating our dogs, cats, at best, our donkeys and cows. A man who had not contributed even a food ratio for the liberation cause and who was hiding in the diaspora where he was even
Your
castigating
microphone, Ball.
critically the champion.
Bring your microphone closer to yourself. Yeah.
How is it now? I hope you hear me, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's loud, clear now. Go ahead.
Okay. A man who had not contributed even a food ratio for the liberation cause and who was hiding in the diaspora, where he was even castigating critically a champion of the liberation struggle, is today dwelling in the heart of our city as the master senior minister. The state minister, despite benefit of Western education and the long-standing story of exposure to the civilization, he has not benefited. He has forgotten that the powers and resources he enjoys come from the citizen that he today referred to as a social media criminal. Elia lunacy of calling the entire citizen of the South Sudan criminals need to be addressed timely. The insult directed at the citizens who voiced their concern on matters of the nation as important as Nile waters and the protection of flora and fauna need specific consideration from the top authorities. Elia Lomoro need to be time. He has attracted civil arrest and arrest, and his word utter on behalf of the government of South Sudan will haunt the same government if not well addressed. Public is not subject to insult. It is the public that gave him a job, having traded our waters to Egypt, and now, in defense of his filthy wealth, he must not mistake citizens of South Sudan for more cowards. Social media actors, civil society organizations, and human rights watchdogs are public instruments for the advancement of good governance, and if their opinion is taken into consideration, they can always become significant contributors to national prosperity. They have a right to scrutinize the public institutions, and they are major stakeholders in matters of importance such as the matter in question. It is, it is apparent that men of Elia Lomoro caliber, those who those who through perhaps good luck or dividend powers have been handed the national responsibility on a gold plate, even when they had never contributed to its liberation. Think that South Sudanese do not matter. That's a wrong notion. Lomoro is wrong. He owes public an arrest and reserved apology, and then he should follow that with his immediate resignation. He doesn't deserve any public office because he is a public enemy. Elia Lomoro, who was recently involved in a money laundering scheme, does not have any moral authority to Christian South Sudanese as criminals. He is a criminal because his records have proven beyond reasonable doubt that he is not for the public good. Having expressed just as tips of the iceberg of what Elia Lomro is, it is necessary to also call as a matter of urgency for the promulgation of laws that would permit the liberty of the citizen of South Sudan. The same laws should restrain mouthy minister from insulting the public. Laws that would guarantee strong, free, and independent media and the press are great necessity now. There is nothing criminal about freedom of expression. There is nothing criminal in public contribution to the biggest agenda of the day, be it digging of the Jonglei Canal or dredging of whichever river in the country. No policy would be left without being scrutinized by the public. It is corrupt to depict citizens as criminals when they have only opted to be part of the decisions that would affect their lives and that of a future generation. Negative expression like what was uttered by Lomoro have a negative bearing on the growth of the nation. They amount to a violation of the Bill of Rights, the core principle of the Constitution of South Sudan. Where did Lomoro get such audacity? Who gave him the authority that he overly exercised to the stage of calling the citizen criminals? He must be lawfully held responsible for hurting the entire nation. Dredging cannot solve the flooding issues. If there was any good reason to do the dredging, then feasibility study would have been the preceding strategy. There is nothing beneficial to South Sudanese on the current dredging plan. It will damage the aquatic lives, it will destroy the environment, it will expose wild animals to dangers, or even force them to migrate to neighboring countries. It will contribute negatively to the salt waters, wetland dryness. It will be a promotion of dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction. The drawback are numerous. The government of South Sudan should not blindly enforce this. They must they must wage options fulfilling Egypt's interests before that of the citizen of South Sudan is not only unpatriotic, it is depict leaders of South Sudan as unconcerned and thus put them to an unreserved scrutiny. Finally, Elia Lomro must apologize or he risks further exposure. The war between him and the public may ensure in a rather intensified manner. The action of hurling insult at the public is beyond the function of minister and that of ministers. Thank you all. Uh, I know I know I'm not very well at reading out, but I did my best. Uh, some people might not hear very well what I have, some of the pronunciations that I made, based on different pronunciations. So you can go to Lake State Media and read more, so you can have understanding of what I read out. Thank you all. Bolmakur, a chain of Lake State Media.
Thank you so much, Bol. It's well articulated letter. For those who want it, you can just go to Lake State Media page on the Facebook. You will get it. It's there, and also it's in the WhatsApp, and also will be in YouTube as well. So that is our position to express our concern to our leaders, whom appointed or elected into the public positions to help that higher cabinet ministry is the one of the highest position that a person should be careful of how to address the public. Coming to the dredging of Nam River and Lake No Sud and River Nile, resumption of Jonglei Canal, they try to play games here, changing the terms. The word term Jonglei Canal resumption is being turned to something. Another one that is dredging, and dredging also is still digging. You dig the sand, and now when you are digging, it's not the way they describe it, that they need to remove um, the things that has grown on the water, that as Vice President Wani is saying, in few years to come, it will be a forest, which is totally not a scientific term to use. And we are looking forward to see them, how they're going to debate in the University of Juba hall on date 8 on Friday. So that is our position. It's not good to call the citizen criminals. If we come to be the watchdog, we are concerned of what will happen next 10 to 15 years to come. If these things happen, if the dredging continue, the water will flow and it's non-stop going to the north. And even if we realize it later on when we are running out of water, we cannot reverse it. We cannot make any reverse such that water can flow back to us or to put and stop to it. No. The good solution is like the statement released by Honorable Kwal Manyangjuk, that if it is something to do with the flood, there is a mechanism that can be put in place by the government to look into. We have some higher places that people can be moved in, and we look into another means of doing this. So these things have been opposed by majority, and the individuals, the few, they sign the contract silently under the tables. Nobody knows what is going on until it's leaked out after a year and some months on top. And when the citizen woke up and they air out their voice, we become now criminals. Who is the criminal? Somebody doing something in the darkness, and somebody who's saying, why do you do this? You better bring it into the public first, because the public concern to be debated openly by the whole South Sudanese publics. And then also you can approve some researchers, scientists, to make a lot of studies. What will be the disadvantage of it and what is the advantages of it? But all these things are not done. Who is the criminal here now? So turning the table to us, that's why we are here, to show our position. Minister of Cabinet Affairs, I should apologize to people of South Sudan. One, the place where they start bombarding the South Sudanese social media users is a wrong place, in the funerals, prayers. And there they try to twist the game for the mourners. It is our son whom we lost. That is being killed by the social media criminals. All these things is a big, big mistake that they have stated and put on us. Number two, he lies. ahead a lot to us. The statements that they have been saying, four of them, doesn't make sense into the public ears. If you can read the body language for those who were present in that prayers, you will see the body language. Nobody has clapped or nobody has nodded their head in whatever they have been saying in that 8 minutes clips cuts to them. So I will yield back microphone to you, Secretary General, to weigh in your opinion as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Isaac Tiang and Bolmakur. First of all, I will give my remark on three parts. The first one will be introductory kind of remark, of which you will allow me to extend my gratitude to all South Sudanese citizens, especially social media users. Thank you so much. We, as Lagos State Media, we are really happy for you guys. You stood firm against this pernicious project being imposed on South Sudan by the Egyptian government through the handout. Thank you for that and keep it up. No amount of words or insults will deter South Sudanese social media criminals to back off from their divine and constitutional duties. It is our right as South Sudanese to warn our government, to correct our government, and to hold them accountable. Thank you so much. Keep it up and keep protesting at your own will, because we have social media and technology of 21st century that has really made everything easier for all of us to communicate despite the distance. Thank you for that. Secondly, allowed me to make it clear to the Minister, Dr. Martin Elia Lomoro, Minister of Cabinet Affairs. My question to the Minister is, where did he get this term from to condemn South Sudanese who are exercising their constitutional mandate? We social media criminals, as you said, we did not pop our ideas out of blue or out of constitution. We are in the territory or jurisdictions of South Sudan transitional constitution. And briefly, let me remind Honorable Minister that if you go to chapter 2 of transitional constitution of South Sudan, chapter 2, clause 24, 1 to 3, it tells us that every citizen shall have the right to the freedom of expression, reception, and disseminations of information, publication, and access to the press without prejudice to the public order, safety, or morals as prescribed by the law. 2. All levels of government shall guarantee the freedom of the press and other media as shall be granted by law in a democratic society. 3. All media shall abide by professional ethics. Basically, this is our constitution. It is not any South Sudanese citizen making. It is a national constitution that gave them their right. And simply because we are in a fragile and fragmented society or nation, that is why the minister, like Elia Lomoro, has the audacity to use some terms which are unethical, which are aliens to the behaviors of an African leader. We condemn it at the strongest term possible. We don't need any leader of South Sudan or an African country to imitate what Dr. Elia Lomoro did recently. It is unprofessional. Back to their speech during the prayers, our leaders, after the pressure being exerted by the citizens across the world, the pressure you citizens you gave to them has set them into a confusion mood. And when you see them speaking, paradoxically, they will tell us that the Minister of Environment and Forestry is not aware of it, and any dredging of any river or tributaries is illegal. It was clear by the minister. The office of president, which is the highest office in the land, told us that they did not approve, or the president did not approve any dredging or any project to do with the Nile water. And when they came to the funeral, you hear them pouring out venom of anger and frustration by saying that the project was passed through the Council of Ministers. Now, who is contradicting who here? Or who is fooling who? When they passed this project, where was the Minister of Environment and Forestry? Where was the President? Basically, any information that come out from First Vice President Dr. Riek Machar, Dr. Wani Iga, General Taban Dengai, Vice President, and their cohorts like Elia Lomoro. These are frustration, and these are venom. You see, sometimes when you see a snake crossing the road and you don't shout that this is snake, call people to beat it, then the snake will not bite you. But the moment you shout, the snake will prefer to do anything to defend itself. This is what the few leaders in our governments are trying to do. They're trying to use any means possible, any language, to make sure they deter South Sudanese citizens not to comment, not to talk anything to do with the Nile water. And that is why you see them using those two terms. For me, I don't blame him. It could possibly be under a certain influence. And we have all knowledge that most of our government officials prioritize only two things. And when the leadership is based on two items, then remember, you are just under the mercies of God. The first thing they prioritize is drinking. They intoxicate their brain, and we expect them to deliver the clear message. The second thing is women. And any leadership always look after women, then know that you are in danger. They're easy to be manipulated, and they're easy to get lost in the middle. Probably Dr. Elia Lomoro could possibly be under something influence. Otherwise, if you call him now to ask him, he will speak in tongues, like what the Minister of Finance said last time, that he was misquoted or taken out of context. He will speak in tongue now after hearing South Sudanese citizens airing out their opinions and their hunger. So basically, when you listen to Dr. Riek Machar, when you listen to Dr. Wani, and you listen to Taban Dengai, and you possibly listen to Elia Lomoro, you will even stop listening. Because none of them is saying something good. And none of them is even giving us clear message as citizens. Because what we need is somebody to come out clearly, address the nation, and put things in order. Because they have left us in a confusion mood. We are wondering which one is right and which one is wrong. And the saddest thing of all is that our Big Six, remember Big Six is presidency, are not speaking in unison. They don't speak in one voice. And if the top leadership of the land is not speaking in one voice, in a serious business such as Nile water, and then remember your country is in risk for a disaster. Because the international community diagnosed this disease of South Sudanese or sickness to be power greed. And that's why they prescribe 6 presidency members, 5 vice president and the president. And for our citizens, we accepted that. Dr. Elia Lomoro, we accept the deal from international community that the 6 in the presidency and the bureaucratic government will resolve our issues. And unfortunately, our assumption was wrong. We thought when English terms could be correct, the English words that said 2 heads are better than 1. We thought the 6 head in the presidency will be better than 1 head of President Salva Kiir. And unfortunately, the 6 head now are telling us totally different thing. And that is very dangerous. To Honorable Elia Lomoro, kindly come out publicly. A true leader is that person who always accept his mistake and apologize to the public for it. A true leader is that person who accepts the responsibility of anything, even subordinate wrongdoing. We are still waiting for Dr. Elia Lomoro to come to the public and apologize to South Sudanese. Sometimes you don't throw a heavy bomb in the public and you expect not to be hurt by those public. South Sudanese of nowadays are no longer South Sudanese of 2000 and 2005. They are no longer South Sudanese of 1990s. They are no longer South Sudanese of 1980s, where you can come to them, play with their mind, confuse them in order to accept your white lie. South Sudanese now are more equipped with the information. And any person that has knowledge is very hard to cheat and is very hard to lie to and is very hard to abuse. Your abuse will not deter us as social media criminals, accusing public of having hand in the death of our minister. that is a joke. You are mocking us and you are telling us that we are stupid to accept anything that you said. If pressure from citizens can amount to death, then President Kiir would have no longer be alive now. Riek Machar would have no longer be alive now. Please, let's put things in order because we are now in critical time where South Sudanese have to decide. You kept us in this darkness for too long, and few citizens have seen the beam of light, and they want to enlighten the public that can we move toward that direction where the light is sending the ray in. And now you are calling us criminals. I will not dwell much on the differentiations of criminals and innocents, because many citizens have given you a lot of they have lectured you in that regard. Who is a criminal? They have educated you for the last few days, and you know it. Our request is for you to come out publicly, apologize to the public in order to redeem yourself. None of us is having a wisdom of Solomon in the Bible, or even Jesus not to make a mistake. We are entitled to make mistakes, but it is our responsibility to come out and correct those mistakes. If you don't come out to apologize, Honorable Minister, and then this word will harm you in the next 50 years and your children. Believe me. To conclude, it was said by historians in the riddles that a prisoner was in prison and he was convicted. And then the judge called the prisoner and asked him that we need you to tell us one thing that will save your life. And in that statement, if you tell us a lie, we will hang you. And if you tell us the truth, we will shoot you. Then the prisoner was left in dilemma. After all, the prisoner has no option. Otherwise, if he said something to lie to the public or to the court, they will hang him to death. If you tell them the truth, he will still be shot, fire squad. Either ways, no another death is better than any. The prisoner opted to tell them that I will tell you only one thing, and that is the truth, and that is the lie. And whatever the way that you will take it, then I will still die anyway. The prisoner told them, or told the court, that Mr. Judge, you will hang me. That was his response. So the reason why I brought forward these riddles is to all South Sudanese. We are in such dilemma. If you tell the lie, they will hang you and call you criminals. If you tell the truth, they will shoot you and still call you the criminals. Then which one is better? It's better to tell the truth and let them shoot you. It's better to die in the bullet than being hung. And remember, South Sudan will be better. This is a syndrome of any new nation. But what are the solutions to such syndromes? The first solution is the public to be enlightened, is the public to be equipped with the knowledge and information in the affairs of their country. It's the public, once you are equipped with the information, you will be active and you will participate fully in the affairs of your country. And remember, South Sudan freedom, the true freedom of South Sudan, will not be earned now. But in the future, we'll have true freedom and we have true meaning of independent state. We'll have freedom of economic, we'll have freedom of press, we'll have freedom of sexual gathering or sexual cohesion or coexistence. We'll have freedom of political landscape. And it will never happen if we don't rise up and demand and hold our leaders accountable. South Sudan will not gain full independent because of the first liberation. They will need second liberation and third liberation, possibly, in order to meet at the standard of the region countries, especially Kenya and even Uganda. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. Let's demand apology from the minister. Otherwise, my heart felt to all South Sudanese, I'm really happy for your stand and for your boldness. Thank you so much. May God bless you, and may God bless South Sudan.
Thank you so much, Secretary General Majok Makur Malak. You really nail it, and that's what we owing here. We need an apology, and also the citizens of South Sudan, they have been silent for so long when they were just stealing natural resources, and the oil is being divided into individuals' pockets, and people are suffering. No development that has that has taken place. We have been receiving promises of the development, and we cannot see it. And now they are crossing to water. There was is being done behind the doors, and that thing is a red line for all of us as a concerned citizen, for the welfare and well-being of our animals, our people, for 50 years to come. And this thing is not affecting only South Sudanese in particular. It will go and affect even North Congo, Northern Uganda, because the rain that run into this green zone is what is raining in Western Equatoria, which is a fertile land, and there is rain throughout. So if the water now being taken away, then will be no rain and will remain as an history in some years to come. In the other parts of the regions, the lakes or lake now. So thank you. We will be having a big show again coming up in a few days after the debate that is taking place on Friday in Juba University Hall. We will be having another show, and that show will be involving some experts and other big giants as well. They will be with us, and we will discuss more about it. So we give opportunity for Minister Honorable Martin Elia to apologize in between here before we come up again with another show. What will come up with us in the next show will be bigger than this and will not be good. So he has to reverse his statement and apologize to South Sudanese media users. So we will go to the final remarks to close down this show. Then we will catch up again for the next show we will be doing. I will yield back microphone to Bol Makur to give his final remarks, and then back to you, General Secretary, your final remark, and we close the show. Bol, you have problem with your microphone. We can't hear you. Unmute. Unmute yourself.
How about now? You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, give me a minute to situate myself where I am so I can be just making some point. You can still hear me very well, right?
Yes,
Okay.
loud and clear. Go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, I will make 5 points and then we will close the show. I would like to address the minister, Mr. Lomoro, that Minister had misplaced the word criminals. He becomes blind to see the criminals who took our borders and placed the word wrongly. Our borders had been taken. There is encroach of countries who are neighboring us, Kenya, Uganda, and others. These are the criminals who comes to take our borders. If he is strong enough, he should have approached these criminals and tell them you are criminals to come and take the borders of South Sudan. So we are not the criminals. The criminals are one that took our borders, and he failed to address that. Uh, Second to that, South Sudan urgently need a strong, free, and independent press as a watchdog of a public institution. We would like to tell our minister that without the freedom of speech, there is no democracy. So the people that you call criminals today were the same people who speak up during the independence. These were the same people who speak up during the CPA. So your word is misplaced. Thirdly, I am endorsing call for repeal of laws that give false legal powers to Minister Lomoro to insult citizens when vast majority of their mistakes are identified. So I am calling especially to the cabinet, to himself, President Kiir, to see this case of his minister calling us the criminals. And we are the one that he is ruling. Without us, whom will he call criminals? Without these youth who are in social media, voice of the nations, whom will he call criminals? So we are calling, we are appealing to the government, especially President Kiir, uh, to give us a reason why the minister turned against his people by calling us the criminal. This matter seemed to be very simple on other people, yes, but it sounds very ugly when even other people in other nations heard about this. The subject not discussed contract by South Sudan government unknowingly to secure a cash lump sum now does not make South Sudan economic sense. And that's why South Sudan civil society went to media to create awareness. We had a lot of money. We had a lot of money from oils, but this money did not address economic of South Sudan. Okay, so we have billions and billions, but they end up in the pocket of people like himself, Lomoro, which is the minister. We need to let him know also he had also some history of laundering money to Kenya. You know, we want to touch him a little bit. You know, we want to touch him a little bit so you can know that we are not sleeping. You know, the minister have a history of laundering money to Kenya. His account was freeze. Huh? So we are not stupid enough. We know what happening. So, and the money that used to sign this contract for dredging is not a lot of money, and this dredging will later subject South Sudanese into many problems. Okay, this problem already being outlined in the letter, so I don't need to repeat myself. If this is why Minister Martin Lomoro called us cyber criminal today, then we are going to expose his mistake and his money laundering also. So we will come live again, and all what we'll talk about is how he laundered money to Kenya, because that's all what we are going to do. You don't want to listen to us to stop dredging. You still insulting us, and even if the president is not coming out also to condemn what minister did, we will not stop educating the minister the right way he should speak in public. So it was wrong for a minister to insult South Sudanese who equally fought for this nation while he is hiding in Europe. I will start from here, but we will still come live later to still address this matter. So thank you. I will yield the microphone back to Isaac. Isaac, thank you so much. I will start from here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bol. We'll go straight to my joke.
Thank you so much, Deputy Chair Bolmakur and Isaac. Actually, sometimes it gives people hard time to think. It's like you going into your garden during the rain season, or maybe in the month of September. That is where our crops always yield. You go and you find a thief stealing your groundnut in the garden. And then by the dint of seeing you too that you have caught him, the thief will quickly tell you that you are the criminal, simply because you have seen him stealing from you. Exactly this is what Elia Lomoro is doing to us. Is ugly indeed for somebody that can possibly be listed among top 5 of those who has really committed economic atrocities in the country, coming out and telling you that you are the criminal. It's very unfortunate. But to conclude, I'm appealing to 3 bodies. The first one is the president, Salva Kiir. President, you just received an honorary doctorate in humanities. And for your citizens to celebrate that honorary doctorate in humanities is for you to come out publicly and tell us the last word to hear from you in regard to the dredging and resumption of Jonglei Canal. Otherwise, Mr. President, this is the only things that you can redeem and empower and put meaning to your recent honorary doctorate degrees in humanity. Otherwise, water contain 25% of humanities if you are talking about humanities. So kindly, President, do something. Otherwise, if you allowed the looters under your administration to continue in such a way, then the generation to come will blame you simply because you are the head. And being the head required a lot of things. You have to upgrade your paraphernalia equipment in order to meet and make a decisions that is supposed to be made by the head of the society or the head of the family or head of the nation. Jonglei Canal dredging is not a priority now. We first need to tell Egypt to stop and let's address our internal disputes, the political crisis, economic crisis. Until then, that is where we will engage in such huge machination projects. Otherwise, we will be cheated and we will realize it when it is too late for us to reverse it. And water is the last resource. Once you're allowed water to leave your territory, it's very hard for you to reverse the water. As you have heard it from my brother Bol, our territories have been taken. Sudan is drawing new map every night. despite the effort that you exerted as the President of the Republic to mediate their peace, for Sudan to have peace. They are not still appreciating that. They went ahead to draw another map. Ethiopia is not sleeping at the border of Gambela. Kenya is not sleeping at Nadepal. And one man that we perceive to be a true friend to our president, your Kaguta Museveni, who always has monopoly of wisdom when it comes to the affairs of South Sudan, but lack of wisdom when it comes to the affairs of Uganda. He is not sleeping too in Mogui County. He's taking our land. The Democratic Republic of Congo, with our full mess, is not sleeping at the border of Western Equatoria. Central African Republic is not sleeping too. But we are not talking about that. We are not asking you about oil. We are not asking you about diamonds. We are not asking you about other minerals. But we are requesting only one simple thing. Suspend dredging or resumption of Jonglei Canal until further notice. To South Sudanese, thank you so much. And I will still urge you, and Lagos State Media still urge you, continue. This is the only unifying factor that has united all South Sudanese across 3 regions. You are speaking in unison and you are telling our government unequivocally, without fear of contradiction, remember you are on the right track. Continue protest on Facebook. Even if it means we are criminals, let's be criminals. If that is what the term criminal means to the minister, let it be. We accepted it and we actually welcome the terms criminals. Let's move on. To my team, Isaac Tier, thank you so much. It is midnight at your territory and you accept it to be up to now, simply because of our nation affairs. Thank you for that. To my boss too, Bolmakur, thank you so much for the letter and for the press in responding this malicious and organs statement from horrible. We will no longer call him honorable. We will call him horrible minister. Thank you so much. May God bless South Sudan. May God bless Africa. And have a good evening wherever you are. Have a good night to everybody and good day. Be blessed.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, you finished everything. We appreciate your stance. You all South Sudanese in diaspora and back home, all social media criminals, you are not sleeping. It is up to him. If you are in the room of glass and you start throwing stone outside first, and if the stone come back to break glass on you, don't blame others later. So no blame here, Mr. Minister. I just apologize. That's what we need. We have to leave the show here, and we will catch up again with another show to come. Have a good night, good day, good morning, wherever you are tuning in. May God bless South Sudan. May God bless all of us. May God bless Africa. Thank you. Have a good time.
It's your boy Young I give him that time. Pancho leg stand and punchy America. Banyi dollar Pancho leg stand and punchy America. Banyi dollar ban walk on your leg. Kankara water no watching. Oga level leg gear power leg. Panda with ya punchy America. Banyi dollar no chingatongo pandon kujwera baya check out. Paku panda jwero what ya be dollar venting. Stand and punchy America, Banyi dollar, Pancho leg stand and punchy America, Banyi dollar, Ban walk on your leg, Kankara water no watching, Oga level leg, gear power leg, Panda with ya punchy America, Banyi dollar, Chinga tongo pandon kujuero baya cheka. Waku panda juero wadi abi dwala benting.